Hello, friends of L'Arche Daybreak. We are so happy to be with you here today. My name is Clara,
I'm Amanda.
and we are here from the L'Arche Daybreak community to tell you a little bit about ourselves, but also to tell you a little bit about our upcoming Walk with Hope, which is a really exciting event for lots of people in our community, partly because it's one of our biggest fundraisers of the year, but it also is an opportunity for us to work towards something together. And that always helps to build community. So we're happy to be with you today. And for many of you, Large Daybreak is actually right in your neighborhood. We're not that far away. We're part of your community. We are located on Yonge Street, just at the corner of Devonsley and Yonge. And so that would be north of Elgin Mills. And we're on the east side of Yonge Street. And we have a big kind of farm property, as you can see here. The property on Yonge Street was actually donated by a religious order called Our Lady's Missionaries. And you see here the group of people who founded L'Arche Daybreak in Richmond Hill in 1969. And they were inspired by a movement that started in France in response to the fact that many people with developmental disabilities were actually being sent to live in institutions that were located out in the middle of nowhere where people were not to be seen or heard from. And as you can imagine, when people are out of sight and out of mind, they are also incredibly vulnerable to abuse and neglect. And that's exactly what happened in the many institutions that are located here in Ontario and across the country. And there's some parallels with our Indigenous communities who also, as children, were taken and sent to live in institutions, again, away from home, in the middle of nowhere, like this one here in Kamloops. And there are a lot of parallels between our community of disability and our Indigenous communities. And just like the discoveries found behind the Kamloops Residential School and now others, there were also unmarked graves found behind the Huronia Regional Center in Orillia and other institutions where unnamed people were buried. So this was the atmosphere in which L'Arche was born, and this small group of people moved in to the property and began farming the land and living as a family and community together. So John here is one of our founding members. He grew up on a farm, so brought a lot of skills. And George here was part of our egg run. We used to deliver eggs to our neighbors in Richmond Hill. And we also had a bakery where we sold bread to people, residents of Richmond Hill. So today, though, we are no longer a farm because all the land around us was sold, eh, Amanda? And
Yeah, yes, I do.
and
Yeah,
and so now we have a few more homes outside of our property. So
yeah,
the two houses on the top are houses that are actually located on that farm property, which is no longer a farm. And then we started buying houses in Richmond Hill because we wanted to be part of the neighborhood. We wanted to meet our neighbors and to be part of everyday life in Richmond Hill. So, Amanda, which one is your house?
my house is right there. Red house right there.
Yeah, the red house. Yeah, and we call it the red house
Yeah,
because it
red
stands
house.
out
Yes,
with
yeah,
that
yeah,
beautiful red brick. So these two houses are just near our property, and then these four homes are in the older part of Richmond Hill.
yeah.
Um, and so in total we have 8 homes, and we have a number um, of programs as well that um, before the pandemic were opportunities for people to create and do meaningful activities together, but that of course during the pandemic has been on hold, but we're slowly getting back into that as things become safer. L'Arche is all over the world. We are um, on almost every continent. Looks a little different depending on where you visit us because it inhabits the culture, the local culture where it is. What holds all these communities in common is the belief that no matter how you come into the world, whether you can walk or not, talk or not, read or not, do math or not, that all people who come into the world have a gift of some kind. And part of the role of a community is to help to surface that gift and make it available to the world. And that life is much more colorful and interesting and diverse and flavorful when we have a diversity of people living amongst us and with us. So, in Amanda,
Yeah,
you have graciously offered to tell a little bit of your own story, just because it's
sure.
such a really beautiful story. And here you
Yeah,
are as a little girl many years ago.
this is me and Daryl.
Yeah, Daryl also lives in our community, and
It's
you knew
Daryl and
each
me. Yeah.
other. You went to school together, right?
Yes, I do. Yes.
So, one thing to say about you, Amanda and Daryl, is that you are part of a generation of people um, who uh, who got integrated into schools. Because
Oh
before,
yeah.
yeah, before people would go to special
Yeah.
schools, right? People who were labeled with a disability used to go to special schools, but now,
Yeah.
now your parents were the ones who really advocated for you to be integrated into schools,
Yes, I do. Yeah.
and so you and Daryl went to a
It's
local
me and
school,
Daryl and I. Yeah.
and you both graduated, right?
Yes, I did. Me
Yeah.
and Daryl and I. Yes.
So,
Hey, it's me. My family.
yeah,
It's my cousin Shelby, Maria, and my mom.
yeah. So Amanda, you are still you live at Daybreak, right?
Yes. Yeah.
How long have you been at Daybreak now?
I came 13 years.
13 years ago.
Yep.
Okay, that sounds about right. And but you still have quite a strong relationship with your mom and your family.
Yes, I do. Yes.
Yeah, you go and spend weekends at your mom's, and
Yeah. I
you have
do.
your brother and your
Bird,
stepsister and
yeah,
your,
and
yeah.
Tiffany and Ben. Yep.
And who's Ben?
My nephew.
Yeah, so you're an aunt. You're now Aunt
Yes, I am.
Amanda, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Can he
I
say your
am.
name yet? Can he say your name yet? Can Ben say auntie yet?
Yes, he did.
Oh,
He
that's
called
so,
me auntie. Yes, he did. He called me
oh,
that.
that's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah. It's me, Mike.
So at the Red House, you have lots of housemates.
Yeah, it's me, Michael and I. To get together.
Yeah.
It's me, Mike.
You and Mike have lived together a long time, right?
Yeah. This is me, the Jet and I. Do that. This me, the Jet.
So Amanda, so in our homes we have uh,
Yeah.
the folks who we call our core members, and you're a
Yeah.
core member at the core of our
Yes.
community. And then living with our core members, we have people we call assistants, and Georgette is an assistant. And
Yes. She is.
uh, and we try to kind of make life interesting and fun,
Yeah.
and do all the fun things that people like to do as a household. So going to a
Yeah.
Toronto Maple Leafs game is one of those
Yes,
fun
I
things,
do. Yes,
right?
I am with the first time there. For the hockey game
Oh,
last time there.
that was your first time. I didn't know that.
Yes, the
Huh.
first time there. Yes, I did. It's me and Peter now. It's
And
me and
Peter's
Peter.
also one of your housemates. Now,
Yeah.
so how does Peter communicate with you? Because does Peter use words?
No, not yet. Cause Peter has little boards. You can point the fingers for the boards. For
Yeah.
that, he smiled at me. He
Yeah.
needs someone
He
to
has a
hug me, right?
he has a very
Yeah,
infectious smile. And
yeah.
so does Peter also use sign?
He signed like this.
Yeah, so he has
This is
different signs
Peter.
that he
He is
uses.
Peter like this.
Uh-huh. Peter has his
Peter
own unique
needs a hug.
signs.
Peter needs a
Oh,
hug.
well, that's interesting. So that means
Yeah.
hug. And I know he does
He
this to
hugs.
mean,
Yes, like
what
that.
does this mean when he does
He
this?
need more
More,
hugging. More
more,
hugging.
or more food,
Yeah.
right? More
Yeah,
hugging, more
more
food,
food
right?
hugging.
Yeah. So okay. So who are these beautiful women?
Mrs. Florida, she's my friend. For Florida, me and Marianne.
Mhm. So friendship is really an important part of community life.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are great, talented women in our community.
Thanks, Clara. This is me with peeled carrots, and cut the carrots for Peter.
So you are a big help in the kitchen. You love to work in the
Yes,
kitchen, and
yes,
you're
I
very
do.
talented as a chef. We've done different projects together,
Yeah,
and but you never hesitate to say if someone says, Amanda, can you help me with this? You never hesitate. You always say, yeah, sure, no problem. You come to the kitchen and you put yourself to work. And you're right.
yeah,
This is a big batch of carrots, and you went right to it, and you got through the
I
whole
do.
bag.
Yes, I am. Yeah. Hey, it's me and you, Clara. It's me and
It
you,
is.
girl. You're and I
So,
making bread
yep,
for my mom's Christmas. Or for
that's
my
right.
mom.
So you and I learned to make sourdough bread
Yeah,
together, and
potato
we
bread. Yes.
we taught a course on how to
Yes.
make sourdough bread. And
Yeah.
yeah, you made a beautiful loaf for your mom with I think it did it have
Yes.
cranberries in it? Cranberries
Cranberries. Yeah, and nuts.
and
Yeah.
wa- and nuts and walnuts. It was a lovely
Yeah,
loaf.
the
Beautiful.
walnuts. Yes. My mom love it.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a
Yeah.
nice thing to bring something that's home baked.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Clara, you guys have a little pizza on me. You did, Clara.
Do you remember this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
So we had
Oh,
a we
Clara, it's so
again
nice to you.
another thing we did for fun was we had a battle of the fans competition,
Yes.
and we in our community was competing against other large communities, and we were
Yeah.
assigned a Kiss
Yeah.
song,
Yeah.
and so you got all dressed up
Uh-huh.
for that videotaping,
Oh, yes. Yes, you're right.
and you did a great job.
Yeah.
I think you're. It was a lip syncing contest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, this is me, Clara. I am painting my canvas, right?
Well, you're an amazing artist, Amanda.
Yes, I am. I'm a
You have a
really big artist. Yes.
you have a beautiful eye
Yeah.
for color, and
Yeah.
um, let's show off some of your artwork.
Yeah.
And I
Hey,
love
this is mine.
I love the detail. I
Yeah.
love the way you bring color together. And this
Yeah.
was inspired by Van Gogh, right?
Yeah, it's in the bingo. Yeah.
Yeah. And what was the painting you were inspired by?
Starry Night.
Starry Night. Yeah.
Yes, Starry Night. Yeah.
And here's
Hey, is
another
this
one.
me, Clara? It's
It is
me.
you. That's another
Yeah, it's
beautiful
me.
painting of yours.
Yeah, this is my painting. Has I listen to the music notes for I love songs so much.
And you also do pottery.
Yes.
Right. So you were part of we have a program called the Craft Studio,
Yeah.
and the Craft Studio creates what do you make?
Pottery, candles, and papers.
Pottery, candles, and paper. So you make
Yeah.
cards there, and
Yeah.
these are gorgeous example of
This
some
is
of the candles.
candles right here.
Yeah, these were the fall
Yeah,
ones, right?
these are the fall candles. Because Atomic and I helped me for that. This is me right there.
And during the pandemic, you've been bringing some of that work home.
Yes.
Yeah, because we weren't able to go into the craft studio, so Debbie would
Right.
drop off a box of stuff that needed to be glazed. So
Yeah.
you smooth it and you glaze it and
Yes.
get it ready for the kiln. Right?
This me, Clara. It's me. I am energy.
You have lots of energy, that's for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, you are a
I am.
determined woman.
Yep.
When you want to do something, you make it happen. So
Yeah.
that leads us into a story of yours that you said you're comfortable with telling this story, but
Yeah.
I noticed something about you in this picture, Amanda, that you have a
Yes,
walker.
it's me right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's
do you want
me.
to do you want to say something about why you're
Sure.
using a walker there? What happened?
Because we can't walk. Because for a wheelchair. Because I'm staying there, staying on a wheelchair, and because I have my walker, because straight for my little walk to walker.
Right. So,
Yeah,
and as you said, like there was a time when you weren't able to walk,
right.
and when we finally had a bunch of tests
Yeah,
done, and they discovered that there was a growth at the base of your spine that
yeah.
had to be
My
removed.
from my growth,
A growth.
it's stuck inside my back.
That's
It's
right.
stuck inside.
And so they had to do a surgery to remove it,
Yes, I did.
and they
Do
said that
listen.
made
Yeah,
and they told us that maybe you wouldn't be able to walk after the surgery. So
no, you're right.
you were in a wheelchair, as you said, and then
Yeah,
but because you were so determined to walk again,
yes, I do.
did
Yes,
you went to rehab, didn't you?
yes, I did. Yes,
And then
I saw Nancy there. I saw Nancy into the rehab center. I saw Nancy there. You saw me.
did she visit you?
Yes,
Nice.
Nancy did, and
So
Steve too.
you went to rehab to get stronger and stronger, and so then
Yeah,
you finally got up out of the wheelchair and you took your
yes,
first steps, right?
yes, I
And then
did.
you started
Yes,
using your walker, and then
yeah.
eventually you made
Oh
it
my
to our
God,
next
it's me,
you
Clara.
made it to the Walk with Hope,
I made it. Oh my
and
God,
that was a
Clara.
huge deal when you finally were able to walk the Walk with Hope that
Yeah.
year. And then you started walking
Oh
without
my
the
God.
walker, right?
Yeah, yeah, I did.
And so that says a lot about you and your strength, Amanda, that you
Yes,
went
I do. Yeah, I do,
from
Clara. Yeah.
that experience
That's
into being
John right
able to,
there. That's
and
John
that
right there.
and you gave other people hope when
Yeah,
you worked towards that and finally
yeah,
achieved it.
yeah.
So what's happening
Oh
this year?
yes, this is me.
Yeah, what's happening this year on May 14th?
Last year, yeah, little walkathon,
We're having our Walk with
little
Hope.
little walk in hope. Yeah.
And you and I have done a little bit of training, right? To
Yes,
prepare. Yeah.
training. Yeah.
Yeah. So Amanda, you and I are going to be the virtual hosts this year of the Walk with Hope.
Yes, I
Yeah, we're so excited. So you and I,
am. Yes.
if people want to be tune in at 10 o'clock in the morning on the
Okay.
morning of May 14th, Saturday, May
April
14th.
14th. Okay.
Yep. Then they can tune in and be with you and me as
Okay.
we launch the Walk with Hope that morning. We'll have
Yeah.
messages from our local politicians. We'll have some music. We'll have some local school participation.
Yeah.
It'll be a great day to connect with
Uh-huh.
our community and to uh,
Nice.
feel a sense of walking together, because even though we can't
Yeah.
walk together in person, we're walking together in spirit.
Like that.
Walk with hope.
Walk with hope.
Beautiful.